Okay.
Yeah.
Christian in California?
No, he's in Chicago. He's in Chicago. I don't know. He might have not charged his phone at night. All right. Good morning, everyone. We're a little bit late today. It's been a crazy day here on my end. So I just sent out a newsletter. We could do a little dive into the newsletter in a second.
Yeah,
I have a question. So
yeah.
I actually want to pull this up right now. This is from Karaoke. I know that you're boys with Karaoke. I don't. Okay. So I was just looking at this data right here, and it's like they announced that 88,000 trucking companies went out of business like this year. Like, how is that even a feasible number of 88,000? Like, where did they come up with the number 88,000? That seems like literally like most of like the industry like trucking companies. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to ask him.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I was looking at it, and then I was like, wait, and I thought like it's like legit, and then I was like, wait, 88,000? 88,000? Oh, wait, Tim's here, by the way. Yo, Tim, if you want to come join us, we're more than happy to have you here live with us. Just let me know.
Wait, where? 88? Where do you see the 88?
So here, I gotta 1 second. It was someone else. Okay. Data analyze. Where is the link? 1 second. So let's see here. Yeah. So Karaoke this year, 88,000 carriers face a tough decision to close operations. Roughly 8,000 brokers at two. It's been a year of unprecedented challenges. So, like, I'm trying to think. Maybe there's someone in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. Like, 88,000 seems like an absurd amount of carriers closing down. Like, how many carriers are there in the United States?
I don't know the exact number, but it's like like the vast majority of them are one truck. I think like 96. I think like 96% are under 10, and the vast majority of those are like one truck operation. So
here, I just
somebody wants to join. Tim Breckenridge.
Yeah. I just texted Tim the link, or it's currently sending. Okay, Roman's saying it's BS. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to like.
Why don't we? I mean, we need to get these. What the thing is, though, is we just posted these charts because they look cool. Like that's all that matters, right?
I know. That's why people do it. I don't remember. It's like people don't even think about like the actual feasibility of the number. It's like, it's like, well, that doesn't sound right. So,
88. Yeah. I mean, it could be,
dude, but I don't know. It can't be 88,000. There's no way it's 88,000. If it was 88,000, let me just do the math. Every day, if there's 365 days in a year, that means every day there's 241 trucking companies closing down. I don't know.
How?
Okay,
whatever. So maybe Joe. They can let us know.
Tim said that because 90% of trucking companies are one truck. Well, he's about to come on, so maybe he could dive in a little bit deeper on that that point. So I just texted Tim the link. He should be coming here on any second. Roman, it's BS. I'm curious, Roman, why do you think it's BS? That's definitely interesting. But yeah, so I was interested in that for a little bit. I do want to get more data on that from like if it's true, like I want to understand like where that's coming from. But yeah, so that's that. What's going on over there, Reed, on your end?
Nothing, dude. I'm trying to make myself a to-do list now. And okay. I'm being very I'm teeing myself up for some early AM wins by putting like basically everything that I do on a to-do list just so I can check it. Just press the check. Yeah. I need those. Yeah. I need a couple W's to get myself motivated to actually list shit out. Because dude, if you could follow me for a day, you'd be like, oh my God, like I don't know how he's doing what he's doing. Because I literally just jump randomly between 1,000 things every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I know that.
It'd probably drive you crazy.
I mean, you tend to FaceTime me like at the random times, like, and you're like, doing random things. So like, I understand that, and I kind of also like see myself, like I know that I do that too sometimes. Like I am like that. It's something. It's like ADD in a way, but it's like, because we're both like doing creative work, that we kind of need that kind of schedule in order to like have time for creative work, but we also need to have time for like more prioritized work. Let's see here. Mark DeMaria, put your pants on, check. Okay. Yeah, that's a priority for sure. Yeah, he's got his pants. Okay, Roman wants to join us too. I'm down to have Roman. Roman, if you send us your email in this, if you comment your email, Roman, I'll get you on the show. Yeah. Shout out to Moon Express, based out of North Carolina. Let's see here. Are they DOT numbers that go inactive? If so, insurance renewal agency could have an impact on that number. I don't know. Okay, interesting.
Dude, I'm right. I'm really hungry right now.
You gotta wait until the live show's over.
Yo, did you start it or no?
Yeah, of course we started it. We're sitting right here. We're live. You're on the air.
Fucking beautiful.
Where are you?
I'm getting on right now, dude. I overslept.
All right, get on. We're on.
All right, bye.
Focus, Reed, focus. Oh, 1 second. Freight Bandit joined. All right, I gotta go turn off the kettle. 1 second.
Making tea. The tea guy. Guy's always just making tea. It's like really annoying we can't comment here. Like, why can't I write a comment in the comment? I guess I could just talk, but it's bothering me that I can't message. Wow, we got some Twitter. We got the Twitter crew here, but the people on LinkedIn can't see those messages. Yeah, this is screwing me up. I don't know what people can. Maybe I'm going to join myself in the chat. Let's see. Let's look here. Yeah, here we go.
All right, I'm back. Wow, we're a mess today. Let's see here.
Dude, I can't whatever. It's fine.
What's up?
No, these just the chat. The chat's all why can't we just message in the chat?
You could message for, I think, YouTube only. It's kind of stupid. No.
All right, so Christian's here.
Christian wanted us to do 8 a.m. and then 8 a.m. comes and he's like not around.
Okay, so, all right. Which one have I missed? Have I gotten up late for?
This one.
Dude, can we is somebody gonna join? Are they gonna figure it out?
I just sent the link to Roman. I think Tim's gonna join us in a second. Danielle is saying she can't even find this on Twitter. It should be on the Freight Caviar page, I believe.
I put it on my
it's definitely
on mine too. It should be on mine. Is it not? I don't know how this stuff works. We need to get, speaking of getting organized, we need to make a to-do list for FreightCon Friday. We have to promote this once or twice. You know what I mean? We just always randomly just go live.
I think the most important thing is we got to show up, on time.
I was here on time.
Yeah, you were. You're the one.
I'm always on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We were about to almost not do this episode, so I'm glad that I pushed it through, but still woke up late to.
All right. What else do we got on this little fancy newsletter of yours?
So Kevin Hill yesterday reported that there's an increase in the employee count for brokerages, large cap brokerages on LinkedIn. Obviously, like if you look at LinkedIn data, it's not always accurate just because people tend to leave their employees. They don't tend to update their LinkedIn profiles that often. So it might be very inaccurate, but I don't know. It's interesting to see. Overall, there's a 7.1% increase in headcount. But at the same time, there's a lot of companies that went under. And also Uber Freight and Coyote fired a good amount of people. So we kind of just dived into that. It seems like 2024, everyone's anticipating a flat freight volume market in the first half of 2024. So let's see here. What is interesting is that the recent announcement by the Federal Reserve to halt interest rates, it has definitely impacted the stock market. The stock market's been doing very well the last couple of days, and if that's the case, this might actually help the freight market next year. So that's that.
Yeah, we heard some interesting perspectives last night in Freight Therapy. We had some people saying that, I guess I won't name them unless they want to be named. I'll find out. But basically, moral of the story is that people, like retailers especially, are seeing lower volumes, lower shipment volumes. Like a lot of shipments have been canceled, but he did say that he thinks next week's going to be way busier than people think. But I guess we'll see.
Okay, very interesting. So I thought this was kind of, interesting and funny. Lionhaul.ai, which is like Anthony, our boys Anthony's company brokerage. He got an email saying that you could get a DAT review, a 5-star DAT review. So if you're a new brokerage, this is beneficial. You just got to pay for it. And so there's people literally making money off of this. This guy's probably sitting in some third world country, probably has a bunch of DAT accounts he could provide reviews from. So just a lookout on that. Like, don't trust DAT reviews, especially if it's like a suspicious or like a newer company. Those could be bought nowadays. And
I don't know if I ever looked at DAT reviews.
Dude, I used to read them all the time.
I don't know if I ever did.
I literally pulled up. Yeah,
as per usual.
That explains a lot.
Let's zoom in on Lionhaul's logo real quick, because Anthony last night explained that he uses the Enron logo color scheme.
Yeah, he told me that before too. Yeah, that's funny.
which I honestly love, because the Enron logo is sick. So I'm into that. Paid DAT reviews. I wonder how much it costs. You should have asked him how much.
$10.
Does that really make a difference? Like, I just I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just me because I never looked at. People in the comments, do you look at DAT reviews? Like, comment that. Do you look at DAT reviews? We'll see if anyone looks at them. Are y'all even old enough to remember Enron? Of course not. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a sick logo. And how old are you, Robert? Like a couple years older than us? Like, come on. It's not like you. What are you working for Arthur Anderson, bro? What are you gonna gatekeep me?
He's acting like this happened a millennium ago.
I am thinking of making like a little please advise Enron color scheme thing. So we'll see if that works.
Hey, Roman.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How are you today?
Yeah, not bad. Excited for the end of the week. It was kind of a shit show.
Yeah, why is that?
I guess people are leaving companies left and right before Christmas. So last minute hires happens pretty much every day. Yeah. I wanted to
Okay.
touch back on that 88,000 number. It was pretty
Yep.
interesting.
Yep. I'll pull it up right now.
So I'm recruiting for the trucking companies and had a lot of what I consider is this, let's just say wannabe entrepreneurs or small businesses or even people that kind of tired working for a company and they started their own authority but never really excelled in it or grew within. So basically they still had the authority. Now they went either being self-dispatched under a smaller carrier that allows that, or they kept it in the background to think, okay, I'll go be a driver or owner operator for this other company. I know I'll keep my authority just active for the moment. You'd be surprised how many people actually think to renew their corporation. I'm sorry. I'm not just even saying about filing taxes or anything. They just forget about renewing the annual, which is $100. So basically, they forget about their entities. They don't pay the fees. Some guys just get closed by themselves without even doing anything. It's not necessarily they going bankrupt. It's just inactivity. So this number, which is absurdly sounds huge, but at the same time, if you think, well, this could be 70,000 drivers that either tired of handling their the stuff on their own, or some of them are just, excuse me if I'll hurt somebody's feelings today if they're gonna listen, some of them are just completely responsible and they just let it go. So maybe within the past 3 months I hired roughly 3 to 5 drivers that told me straight, hey, I'm tired, I don't want to be having a self-authority, I don't want to do this to myself, it's just too much. I might be an owner operator, might lease a truck. At the moment, I just want to be a driver to pay my bills, take care of the family, So a lot of them just, not necessarily, they didn't close any doors. Oh my God, they closed their operation, they closed the doors. They paint the picture much scarier than it is. For general public, it's like, well, okay, if you want to create a panic effect, well, that's how you do it,
Yeah. For
you
sure.
put it, you post it, you have all these advertisers, you get shared on either national TV or bigger media, and there you go.
Yeah.
You have a panic attack. People
Yeah.
don't know. Just like general public doesn't know there's an actual shortage in parking spots for the truck drivers, they wouldn't know any difference. Oh my God, 88,000 companies. Oh my God, how many people lost their jobs? Now they thinking it's offices. They thinking it's all these people in the offices that serving the companies. They start thinking, what if 10 people work for one carrier? Now it's what, close to 1 million people lost their jobs? No, it's not like this. It's
Yeah.
one guy with a truck from
For sure.
98 or 2002, and he
Yeah.
just tired to repairing that crap and putting
Yeah.
back the fees and paying taxes. He's not making any money. So
Yeah.
he just let it
Makes
go.
sense.
Yep.
I'm curious because I actually we have Tim here. Breckenridge is on as well. Tim, I'm curious. What are your thoughts on this number?
I kind of agree. Like I said in the comments, my percentages were probably off, but it's a large percentage of companies, are one truck operations. I think the top 1% are 50 trucks or more, something like that. So there's a lot of guys that just don't want their authorities anymore, or they're just not doing it the right way. I think there's a lot of fluff going on right now.
For sure. So what's fascinating is, Tim, you were just in Uzbekistan last week. Uzbekistan has a ton of trucking companies that are like doing outsourced dispatch work for the U.S. Like companies. What was that like? What was it like being in Uzbekistan? What was your big takeaway from there?
It wasn't like anything I thought it would be. First off, everybody, the hospitality was amazing. Got to see a number of carriers and their operations. It's a beautiful country. We traveled to a couple different cities. Majority of the time was spent in Tashkent. But getting to meet some of the owners of the companies and furthering conversations afterwards, like obviously, in my post, I said that there's over 300 carriers there, between 50 and 500 trucks. So the capacity is huge. but I would say, I mean, obviously we didn't meet with all 300, but every single carrier that we met with, the owner was a driver, you know, and most likely was a driver that, you know, ran around and did spot freight. And so they've built their companies kind of in the same model that they ran their little owner operator models. And none of them can scale past where they're at. They're stuck because the driver turnover is huge. I spoke to a company last night. They've hired 400, like I think they have 150 trucks, and they've hired and fired 400 drivers in the last 2 years. That's insane. I mean, and all of these companies are experiencing this. So I asked them, like, how much how much does it cost you on average to onboard a driver? Oh, you know, $1,500 to $2,000. Well, geez, what an expense, you know?
Why
so, I mean,
is the turnover as high as it is?
It's wild. It is wild, like how these companies
Anyone hear
are
me?
run, and they're all just kind of stuck at that number. They you know, they want to get to 1,000 trucks, but they can't. They just can't do it.
Tim, do you still see like the super high sign-on bonuses, like higher than 2,000? Or because I remember a couple years ago, it was sometimes they'd get up to like 10 grand.
I mean, I'm not seeing it, but I don't know much about driver recruiting. I know a lot of these companies are trying to create fuel incentives, you know, giving that money back to the drivers to, you know, because they all have huge fuel discounts at various places, and making sure that they're fueling where they need to fuel, and then finding a way to put that back in the drivers' pockets. I also know of companies that thought that the drivers were making too much money and took the fuel incentives away. So, you know, there's a lot of greed out there still.
Even in
Sorry, I'm in my mobile office right now.
No worries, Tim. So overall, Uzbekistan was pretty mind-opening.
I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, when are you going back? I'll if you want, I'll join you.
I mean, I think they'd love to have you. You know, in the
do
spring,
a
probably.
caviar deep dive on Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I mean, so Tashkent is, I mean, it's not as big as New York, obviously, but you know, all these guys, obviously there's 11-hour difference between their time zone and central time. So they're working essentially overnight there.
Yeah.
And so we would go out at 3 or 4 in the morning, and every place is packed. Like nobody sleeps there. I mean, there's like little logistics.
Everyone's working US hours and then going out. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, there's nobody trusts the banking system there. Everybody pays cash for everything, their homes, their cars, everything. There's like nobody believes in credit there.
Yep. It was similar in Ukraine.
Yeah, but I mean, again, every carrier, you know, they're very proud of what they're doing. You know, I got a chance to do a lecture at in SummerCon for an international logistics class, and you know what I stressed to the professors was like, you know, their goal is to obviously educate and then place these people in jobs, whether it's somewhere in the, you know, European Union, or get them visas to come to the United States and work in transportation or supply chain. But like I stress to them is to get people to come over from the United States and teach these students, like if they want to come here and open a business, how to open a real viable business, not a business where, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, where you just start buying or leasing a bunch of trucks and then you can essentially go out of business overnight. You know, you're just throwing drivers in the seats. Like that's not what this industry needs. You know, the turnover is terrible. I think the shipper carrier relationship is terrible. You know, and it's just, the market is going to continue to press on these types of carriers until the new wave or the new generation that comes over and starts opening companies really understands how to run a business, and not just a trucking company.
Mhm.
So, sorry, just kind of went off on a tangent there.
No worries. And you're really good at that, Tim. And well,
I just get angry sometimes. I'm just tired of hearing about the market. If you build your business the right way, the market should have minimal impact on how you operate. Now, if you're a broker, I get it, because you're probably relying a lot on the spot market. But if you have trucks, you shouldn't be in this position.
yeah. Well, we got Roman here. Roman, you own a trucking company, right?
No, I do recruiting, and I partner with trucking companies.
You do what? I'm
So-
sorry.
I do driver recruiting and driver HR, coming up with like strategies for driver retention, bonus system, how to incentivize drivers. Obviously, trying to build maybe a more commitment culture, retention culture, and obviously it should go on both ends. Right now, especially after the COVID, I don't know, average time that the driver would stay in a company kind of got reduced to sometimes a month or maybe on average 2 months. So nowadays, post-COVID times, right? You hire somebody and you ask for last 10 year of experience. And when you do that, before, okay, maybe 10-year experience, the guy would have up to 10 companies at the most. It was pretty normal to work in 1 or 2 companies during the year. People got to shop around, find their best options. Now you'll see somebody having 6. One guy went to an extreme, maybe working, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks at a time somewhere. He had 12 companies in 1 year. He wanted to make one for each month, maybe.
Oh my God.
I don't think everything was specifically his fault. That's how the time was. But definitely a commitment. It's a big problem right now on both ends. Some companies are just going through people. They pretty much burn them and use them, and they go through. It's either the nature of the industry that became so difficult right now to deal because the rates went down and everything. Also, drivers, you cannot stay committed if you can pay your bills. That's also a problem. You go to a company, they start decreasing your pay every other quarter, if not every 2 months. Within like past 18 months, I know a company that decreased their pay rates 5 times in 18 months. You as a driver, you go there, you start at 75 cents a mile. By the time, if you stay 18 months, your pay is reduced to 50. What is that? Back to 2016 now? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely tough. For sure. I'm curious real quick. This is kind of random, but I got a PR release from a company this week. And have you guys ever heard of Geberter Wise? Because it says Geberter Wise, a 500-year-old international transport and logistics company. And
oh, nice.
I was shocked.
Before we had trucks, huh?
Yeah, and if you look at the comments, like it's actually kind of funny. Doing it right, wrote, my ancestors worked there in 1575. It was a really small fort back then. Turnover rates were high due to the plague. But you could just accounts instead of the house. And there was, I think, someone commented with the horses. Yeah. So that's pretty wild. I don't know. 500-year-old logistics
What's the company called?
Geberter Wise. It's a German company. They used to run
the longest standing logistics company, like if that 500-year thing is actually true. And they're Chicago.
It is. I Google it. They have a Wikipedia page.
And they're Chicago based, it seems like.
No, they're German based.
Oh,
I think they're pretty big.
Yeah, they are pretty big.
Their revenue is $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
3,000 employees. But it's crazy.
Pretty sure I've seen their containers.
Okay, it says it was founded in 1823 on Wikipedia, but the roots can be traced back more than 500 years. They used to connect the trading centers of Milan and Lindau as the Lindau.
Dude, that's like pretty based. Like this is cool.
It is really
at
cool.
first when you At first when you posted this, I thought it was one of those like we're just gonna combine everyone's years in the industry and just make that our number. But
No, this is legit. This is legit. Which I was actually shocked by. We should do like a list of like the oldest like logistics companies because like literally this company's older than the U.S.
I mean,
So,
yeah, they're literally older than the United States for sure.
yeah,
That's cool. That'd be cool. Be like a research into Europe or anywhere else, essentially. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive. Definitely caught my eye this week. That was like the one PR. I get a bunch of like companies emailing me like press releases nowadays, and that was like the one that really stuck out. I'm like, wait, what? I just read the first sentence, and like they really know how to write well because that is the first sentence, and like they know it sticks out. No one sends out a PR with the first sentence saying a 500-year-old international transport logistics company. Like that's impressive. So, shout out to Gilberto Wise.
It is.
Yeah,
that's such a baller statement to make. Gerber Wise looks back on a history of more than half a millennium.
yeah. It's
Nice.
maybe someday that'll be maybe someday Freight Caviar can release a 500-year-old,
yeah, like 10 generations, down the
10
line.
generations of memers have come before us.
Yeah, exactly. This was from Wednesday, but broker margins are down this year from 16% in 2022 to 13% in 2023. Not really a shock.
Hold on. I thought brokers made like 60% margin on every load.
Oh yeah,
No, brokers
the
make,
truckers
they,
get
you don't
crumbs.
you understand. This means that brokers make 87%. You guys got to deduct a 13 from 100, and that's how the math works. Yeah.
No, this is good data.
It is good data. Yeah, that's DAT provided that data. Interesting stuff. Tim,
I
any
appreciate you including the standard deviation on here, though. Like that was very, very useful for me.
You're welcome. Tim, you're eating breakfast while on the Freight Gong Friday. That's
I'm done. It was my spinach feta wrap from Starbucks.
Oh, nice. I used to get this all the time.
Yummy.
He's in his mobile office.
Yeah.
Now, can you see that? Can you see where I am? Do you see that? Do you know Sheer Logistics?
Sheer Logistics? Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Are you going to go see Joe?
No, I'm going to meet with Jordan. I'm working on a project with them right now. So
very cool. We did a podcast with the CEO and then with Brian. With
That's
Shaw
right. You did.
Yeah. With an Eddie Lachine. So
yeah.
Good people.
They are.
Nice, good stuff. What times are meeting at?
Just whenever.
Oh,
Jordan
got it.
So Jordan is Joe's son.
Oh, nice. Okay, very cool. Good stuff. So you're in St. Louis, Tim. Roman, are you in Chicago?
Yep, I'm in Chicago. I work in Chicago. Pretty much trying to partner with any company here, Midwest, and I don't know, been doing the trucking part for the past 5-6 years now.
Okay, very cool. Good stuff. We're like all over the place here.
Paul, what else we got to cover? Did we cover all the newsletters? All the newsletters across all three this week?
No. I mean,
what else was there?
Well, I like this advertisement. I'm reading the book Ogilvy on Advertising this week. Good book, highly recommend it. But this is an advertisement from Jack Daniels in 1982. What I liked about it was, well, first, there's a truck driver delivering truckloads of maple for Jack Daniels, and then or Jack Bateman, that's him saying hello to the driver. So I thought that was pretty cool how they brought the driver.
Dude, I was listening to that Founders podcast on this guy, and it is good. And he said that one of the things they were talking about constantly was how longer, like more wordy ads like actually work. And this is a good example. This is a good example of one.
Yeah, long copy is better than short copy for advertisements. It's like if you have something to sell, like write about it and like. So definitely. That was pretty cool. Oh, Super Ego Transportation. Roman, what do you know about Super Ego Transportation?
Man,
You hotspot here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big holding, right? They have a lot of people working for them. They have a lot of trucks. You know what happens when you have a lot of drivers going through a company? Definitely, there'll be pleased and unpleased. So
yeah,
it
but how many
probably
MCs do they have? Like none of their power units say Super Ego, but all their trailers say Super Ego.
let's just say like this. I have not worked for Super Ego, neither I'm enticed to apply for a job there, all right? But rumor says, if a company is pretty big in Chicago, maybe, big, let's say 300, 400 trucks plus, then you might want to believe that company operates with not one or two or three. It might go all the way to up to 10 MCs in the background. So, and how partner with your own caution. I mean, obviously, when brokers build a relationship with carriers, sometimes I'll go a little bit in depth. So let's put it this way: the owner of the carrier company, the owner of the transportation company, when the company outgrows himself as a person, it becomes so huge and involves everybody. Like sometimes it's your personality that attracts business to the company. It's that nice recruiter's voice that brings the drivers. It's that nice, customer rep. It's that nice of a dispatch that set up the first setup package with the broker, builds the relationship. Nobody knows the owners, right? Everybody builds relationship with those few representatives from the departments. But if you have a good relationship with whoever you work with, your broker, with customer rep, with a safety or claims representative, that's who you pretty much can trust that your part of the job will be serviced and respected. Otherwise, in the background, honestly, it might be 5, it might be 10 MCs. One could be for this, one could be for that. You never know. It's really hard to know, honestly.
For sure.
And none of these carriers have like, an executive team or a C-suite or a board of directors, anybody advising them. It's like the owner and then like an operations manager.
You're pretty much right. Even people think that 600 trucks or 700 trucks is going to be board of directors and maybe a nice team of people that will always approve things before somebody takes a decision that runs everything down the ship. No, it's not like this. It's one guy, and sometimes he takes the decision because he doesn't like somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
I learned in Uzbekistan there's the big brother, which is like the owner, and then he's got a bunch of little brothers running around doing all of his work for him. But there's no real hierarchy.
Yeah.
A lot of
Pretty
these
much
are
like
family businesses.
Dude, this whole world is it gets pretty wild pretty quick.
I wonder what the MC per capita is in like the Elk Grove Village area.
Oh, that's a great. How can we find that out? That's a great question.
That might
It's like
be
every house has one. People go door to door paying people $500 to open MCs.
Free caviar
like a-
research report.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like a
Glendale has the
blind-
largest per capita. Glendale for sure has the largest per capita.
Touching back your question on how many MCs were closed or how many carriers went out of business, how many people have MCs. Sometimes you go join these Facebook groups about, supposedly trucker groups or broker groups, but it's all scam. They're all just bullshit. Everybody trying to sell to each other something every day. But surprisingly, actually last probably 3 months, again, the number of accounts, and again, you never know accounts are real or not, or a lot of times they're just fake accounts, and then you try to reconnect with the guy somehow outside of the Facebook network. The amounts of posts about, hey, selling an MC with X amount of years, or safety, or the scores were fine, no claims on the number, actually increased the game. So you can go in these groups and start filtering, and you will see they trying to sell their MCs. And sometimes obviously they sell their MCs for profit. Like one guy had MC, let's say, for 3-4 years. It was just his truck, his son, They worked. I mean, they didn't have claims. They just built small. They maybe were somewhere rural Iowa or Montana, did some work, and now they're selling MC to these guys in Chicago that probably gonna get closed down because of they didn't pay or their claims under their insurance, and now they're gonna transfer everything under the new MC. You know,
For sure.
Scott just commented it, you know, that Highway is a great app or a great platform. I 100% endorse that.
Yeah.
Highway is you.
So that's I think a response to Ivan's question, because Ivan was asking, I wanted to ask what you guys think about double brokering and freight brokers, and I think Scott responded saying, GoHighway.com should be able to find that. Or so, and overall, I guess what you guys were talking about as well. So, yeah.
We have one more question. I am Moon 10. He says, read your Unreal. How has Zint impacted your sales abilities?
Significantly. Yeah, dude, a lot of people thought that post was real.
So I'm gonna pull it up again real quick.
I haven't seen this post.
Yeah,
that was actually hilarious.
Yeah,
like
I just edited.
Here,
yeah. Huh?
What'd you say?
I just put it. I just screenshotted the recommended, because LinkedIn will like prompt you. They'll be like, "Hey, you should post about this," and it'll be something really boring and stupid. And so I just threw it in Canva and just typed my own.
LinkedIn is real for this. I actually thought at first that this. I mean, it looked real.
Yeah, well, I always try to make it look as close to real as possible, but then I'll strategically leave in like something that if somebody looks closely, they'll notice it's fake. Like the bottom one, like the text is a little higher in the bubble than the other ones. So if you're astute, you can tell it's fake.
I am saying it's great editing, honestly.
I love the last one about triggering boomers.
Works as a tool in your marketing arsenal. So good.
That is an underrated tool to have in the toolkit. More companies need to be doing that. Comments are good. You need comments, and a triggered boomer is very likely to leave a comment in a post.
Oh, and then they just can't stop looking at it, and they're tagging everybody. And
yeah, it's the way to go.
Then it really goes viral. That's the best.
What else do we got?
What about Elk Grove, Scott? Scott saying 500 plus carriers registered within a 50-mile radius of Elk Grove.
Elk Grove, California.
Yeah, so how about Elk Grove, Illinois?
Elk Grove Village, Illinois.
Oh yeah, hotspot too. A lot of carriers with their own cross docks. Yeah, warehouses.
So I was thinking about a very established business model amongst the Chicago carriers is the rail cross dock, put stuff on the rail to go to California or Washington or whatever. These guys are. There's a lot of operators who do that who don't tell people they're doing it, which is obviously against the broker carrier packets, and it's frowned upon. And maybe it's illegal. I don't know the actual legality of it, but these guys are able to operate at a cheaper cost than just sending a guy over the road, right? It's like there's a world where that's like a legitimate business model. You know what I mean? It's like, why not just go sell customers on the fact that you're able to operate cheaper than everyone else? And the reality is that some shippers who think they need to get their freight there in 2 days, probably can wait an extra couple of days and just not be shady about it. Why not be legitimate about it?
Well,
these guys are.
The reason they're not cheaper. Yeah. They're not cheaper. They sell a full truckload service.
Well, I know they're charging full truckload and putting it on the rail and moving it way cheaper. And I get that. Maybe you can make some additional margin, but at the end of the day, you're going to be dealing with a lot of headaches and BS as a result of that.
It's not just a little bit of margin. Actually, it might be a little. It's more. Yeah. So basically, what happens? You charge for full truck operation, and then you bring this, half a loads or couple of pallets. You bring it to warehouse. Now, what they do. They might or might not have the custom trailers that actually are reinforced, but even a simple trailer, on the road, you can't just put it 44,000 pounds in a dry van. Now, when you put the driver on the rail, they're gonna max it. Like I had talked to one guy. He said, "Dude, I was just wondering, and I went once through a scale. His weight. He thinks his trailer alone was probably close to 68,000 pounds." I'm like, "How the hell are
Like
you doing that?"
a container or
No, we're talking about
drive-in?
drive-in 53 feet. You know, you can drive it legally, 44,000 pounds loaded on that trailer alone, right? Now he thinks, based on his small calculation, because he was just curious, he went through a scale. He thinks those trailers that they pack are about 65,000 pounds altogether. So basically, but they put them on the rail, but they put them on the rail. They don't drive on the road. So that's what they do. They take these small loads and they pack them so tight in the warehouses. They reload and they rework, obviously, and they put them on the rail. So now you don't need a driver. You basically
You're
just
an
need
LTL, you're an LTL carrier at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need just a good team of local drivers. They also have a little bit of regional guys that do actually deliveries up to 500 miles around the area. But then the rest, it just gets on the rail, and then they have a warehouse. And let's say Rancho Cucamonga, let's just give it for example. Well, same thing. They have a warehouse over there and a team of local guys.
Yeah, it's a sophisticated logistics operation. But
Doesn't sound sophisticated.
No, but it is, because like local drivers, warehousing, cross-docking, that's exactly what LTL carriers do. Except these guys don't go and sell it to legitimate or to shippers and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." They go to brokers and charge a truckload rate, tell them it's truckload, and then put it on the rail and make buku bucks.
Something definitely is wrong.
Rate of claims, because they do obviously consolidate. They pack the trailers. I don't think they can get 65,000 pounds.
Paul or Christian, can you guys check if you can hear me? Because I cannot hear you.
I can.
Yeah, we can hear
you.
you. So yeah, I mean, it's there. If they were doing it at scale and going, they were operating 100 lanes out of Chicago, and going to all regions. Yeah, I'd say that's a little more sophisticated. But if it's not a raw material for production, I don't see why you can't put it on the rail, as long as your demand planning is on point. Save some money.
Yeah, well, maybe one of these days we can have a carrier on here who maybe can change their voice and anonymize themselves and be the voice for the Chicago rail carriers.
Yeah,
so
does anybody from Go-To Logistics want to come on and tell us what's up? Because I know they're pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, Go-To is really good at it. It's funny because I know a lot of people that used to work for Go-To out here in Poland. And so I talked to them a few weeks ago. It's kind of, it was definitely for me interesting because I never really thought they did all that stuff the way they did. I thought they were more legit, but no, they do I think they do the most out of anyone. They just do it they're like Reed was saying, they actually have more or less legit operation, they're more on top of it than other carriers.
They have their own containers. I've seen 53 foot boxes.
I mean, dude, they have their own containers and they go and get their own rail contracts. Like these guys, I mean,
they've mastered it. They have mastered it. And they have a huge warehouse. Yeah, bring somebody on. I'd love to hear.
They have a cold storage, which is crazy. That's so expensive to have. They literally have a cold storage.
Yep,
that's what happens when you're grossing $50,000 in for a 53-foot trailer, right? You build a bunch of truckloads together, and next thing you know, it's a big.
We've talked about this before, Tim. Maybe you could provide some more analysis of this, but everyone wants to be more sustainable and green, whereas these carriers, these companies Go-To are the most sustainable out of anyone else because they so it's why can't we give them some more recognition instead of just bashing them for being shady jerks? We could be hey, you guys are more sustainable than any other logistics company we know that does that much volume.
Well, yeah, and from what I understand, Go-To is fairly transparent with what they're doing. I know that some carrier sales reps that have worked with them at some large brokerages that have said that they will tell them that they're putting it on the rail. Like they're just, they know.
So
Go-to's taking a load, more than likely it's going on the rail.
So since I know Polish and I know all the Polish carriers out of Elk Grove Village and all the Chicago carriers that rail and consolidate. I mean, I would just have I would always ask give me a rail rate and give me an over the road rate because it was important. And they were always legit with me. They knew I knew, and they would be honest with me. They would tell me everything. They would tell me more than they would tell to most other brokerages. So I would get the rates and the ETA. So I mean, yeah, I mean.
I learned
they definitely operate pretty well, honestly. So
I used to do it. Well, we didn't put stuff on the rail. Well, maybe we did here in St. Louis. I worked for a 60 truck Polish carrier,
Archer?
8 years ago. No. They're huge. I think they're out of business now because they just they did some things wrong, but. I mean, it was the same thing. They had a warehouse here and a warehouse in Ontario. They had locals in Ontario, and it was just they had a rep at C.H. Robinson, a rep at Schneider, a rep at a couple smaller brokerages here in St. Louis. The carrier reps knew exactly what to look for, low pallet count, paying full truck rate. And the carrier reps could make a little bit more money on it because they were like, hey, you know what? This is going out to California. It pays, 42. I know you're putting it on the rail, so do it for 35. You can make $700, and then you can throw 5 of those loads on a trailer. So kind of goes both ways. That carrier rep knows that carrier is doing it, and they're hunting the board for the low pallet count, low weight, going to favorable rail destinations.
Yep.
So the brokers aren't innocent either.
They're definitely not. They're definitely not. Not at all.
Everything is broker's fault, honestly. If it wasn't
low rates.
Yeah.
Paying the carriers crumbs. It's
double brokering.
Yeah.
If brokers didn't exist, double brokering wouldn't be a problem because it wouldn't exist.
Then how but then obviously the 2 truck operators don't understand how they would get freight because none of them know how to operate direct customer relationships.
They would call the government. The government would give them freight. Call 911.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Pete
now
Buttigieg,
it's a communist.
Pete Buttigieg could be the carrier sales rep for every shipper.
I'm not saying that all owner operators are uneducated because that's far from the truth. There are a lot of them run great businesses, but a lot of them just don't understand the economics of and even not even just one truck owner operators, but some of these guys that have 200 trucks. They just don't understand the economics of our country.
Dude, they don't know. They're not salespeople. Truckers, I talk to dozens of them, a week, and every single time, owner ops, guys with their own MC, and I talk to them and I say, how do you market your business? Have you ever tried to get a direct customer? Have you ever done? I don't ask them this to try to point out to them that they're stupid or anything like that. I ask them because I'm curious. Because sometimes, occasionally, I'll get somebody's every time I go to a shipper, I leave a business card, or I've gone down the street to people in my local town and handed out business cards. People do that, but not. It's that's probably 1%. I talk to shippers. All my customers back in the day, and I asked every single one of them, small Midwest shippers, S&B mid-market shippers, perfect for a smaller fleet. Hey, how many times has a fleet local to your town knocked on your door and been hey, can we work together? And very rarely does it happen. I'm how many broker calls do you get a day? I don't know, 20. It's
right.
If I were a carrier, if you're a carrier out there, there's a serious opportunity to do stuff like this. It's just you got to just do it.
Yeah, but then it comes down to how many carriers I've seen that then when you give them an RFP from a shipper, they don't understand. It's they just start throwing rates. It's almost they don't know what they're doing because they haven't thought about, all right, what do I really need? to operate my business. And then it's like, why don't you price the freight so the market doesn't matter to you? Like, know what you need, know what your margins are to either reinvest in the business or put savings away. And then don't worry about the market. Commit to the business. And then when it comes time to renegotiate. Like, shouldn't have to worry about the market. It's like the market doesn't dictate how much it costs for you to operate your business. And that's what like some of these guys just don't understand that portion of it. And it's just crazy to me. It's like, I just need, I need to get $1,800 a day. How do you know? Like, how do you know that? It's just, I don't know. It's frustrating.
Yeah. With this, I'm going to end it, guys. It's been a great Gong Friday. I'm going to hit the gong. Wow, the gong's almost at 30 million hits. Wow. Look at that. Have a great Friday. And we'll reconnect. Tim, thanks for coming on. Roman, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that was fun. We'll have to do it again. So
absolutely.
All right, see you guys.
Awesome.
Take care, guys. See ya.